Good morning. We are live. Welcome to Hack Shack Studios. RT Bear here. Hoping to be a little bit more professional today than I was the other day. Oh my gosh, man, that was a little bit, as I say, pulling teeth. My mom used to say that. It's like pulling teeth. It's like pulling teeth with you. And then she'd do this. She'd do this with her finger. It's like pulling teeth with you. And yeah, it was crazy. Technology is not my bag, and apparently it's not Mike Barron's bag either, because I can see him off screen trying to get things going there. Yeah, so we're gonna hang with Mike Barron, and we're going to talk about Emilia Clarke and her new comic book, and then whatever Mike Barron wants to bring to the table. I'm sure he's got a lot to bring. The man has been around. He's done a lot of work. So without further ado, let's bring Mike Barron into the stream. What's up, Mike?
Art.
How are you, brother?
Doing good.
Excellent. So your wife just had a birthday, man. That looked pretty fun.
She just ran out the door. I wish she'd stayed for a cameo. But who knows?
Yeah, she's a little camera shy.
Oh, yeah.
Not like Emilia Clarke.
No.
Who's a camera whore.
Yeah, I was unaware of Emilia until just the other day.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. I watched Game of Thrones. I saw the whole thing, but there were so many great characters, and all the acting was superb, but I just didn't glom on to who the actors were.
Right. Yeah, she's kind of like setting herself up as like, she does a lot of these like genre stuff, like sci-fi, action adventure, comic booky type stuff. And so I think she's kind of setting herself up as, fit to fulfill that niche. And so I guess her and her agent thought it would be a good extension just to go into comic books. Why not, right? It's that easy. Yeah. Anyone can do it.
Hey, where can people watch this show?
It's on YouTube right now. So I only broadcast on YouTube, so I don't go Facebook Live or any of that stuff.
Hey, send me a link, will you, and I'll spread it around.
Okay, you want me to send it to your Facebook?
Yeah, the PM thing where you posted this link.
Oh, okay, no problem.
It would be beautiful.
Want me to send it to? All right, let's do this. I'm doing this now. Copy. So how's it going? How's it been? You do some talking while I'm figuring this stuff out.
Well, I'm very excited. I have a lot of projects in the works, and for the first time in years, my comics are getting out there. I'm happy about that, and I'm sure you all know what they are. There's Florida Man, Offworlder, Coming of Gormondo. This book is enormous, by the way. It's over 200 pages.
Holy shit.
And it was originally designed to be Sunday supplement size, which means the pages were enormous. And dude shrunk it down to fit into the standard format, which means you get this incredibly detailed art.
Wait, hold on. Let me share this. Oh shit, that looks great.
Yeah, there's also a lot of words because dude wrote it.
A lot of words.
Don't get me wrong. I like words. I use them myself.
So what do you think you are, a writer?
Yeah, sometimes.
What do you think you are, a wordsmith?
I think I'm just taking care of the dogs most of the time.
Hey, I got your Florida Man the other day. My wife read it. She said it was a blast. Yeah, I haven't read it yet. But I pretty much know the story based on just hanging out with you and hanging out with Todd Mulrooney.
Sure.
So it looks great. It looks great. Yeah, she's like, this is nutty. And I go, yeah, this is some crazy shit. I do have to say this every time I see you. We're going to go back in time a little bit. I think it was just when I was on the crest of breaking into business, just slightly before, I got this Nexus. I think it was magazine size. It was black and white. Hey, there she is. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Hi. I need car keys, honey. I can't go anywhere without car keys.
Oh, they're on the counter downstairs.
Oh, at least it wasn't, I need the credit card. That's going to end poorly. But I had the magazine size book, and I had just lost my apartment. couldn't make the rent, so I moved back in with my parents. I'm living in the garage. I have my drawing board right next to my dad's pool table, right? And I got a turntable, and there's this floppy record album that's inside this comic book. So I take it out and I put it on, and I'm like, holy shit, man, this is like those Power Records things when you were a kid. But it was Nexus. It had music, it had dialogue. It was phenomenal. So you got to tell me, like, how did that come about? Do you remember that?
Oh, fuck. Where am I?
I thought we lost you.
Oh, no. Good. That's a good thing this isn't Mike Miller's feed, because Mike would jump on me right away for using that word.
Yeah, I used to kid, like, he needs a swear jar, so every time you swear on his show, that you just put $1 in there.
Yeah, I have to be careful.
But yeah, do you remember that? Like, how did that come about? And were you involved in the recording process? Because that thing was done well.
I know it was. It wasn't my idea. This guy came to us who did radio broadcasts, and he offered to do it. He said that it would add an extra dimension, and the boys at Capitol went for it. So it's like it was kind of a first at the time. I myself wasn't totally down with it, because I think that when you read a comic, you hear voices in your head and you assign them to the characters. And the voices that I heard, while they were good, and I was very honored to have him do it, they weren't the voices that I heard. It's also a little strange to have somebody reading along with you while you're reading the comic. But the music was great too. I always say comics are the most forgiving medium there is. You can get away with stuff in comics that you couldn't in any other medium, and the proof is all over the place. Half the comics coming out now have whimsical or bizarre bases. One only needs to look at Flaming Carrot or Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. When that came out, I mean, the guy that decided to market that was a genius, because it's been a huge hit. But you couldn't come out with a TV show called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 80s or the 90s. I suppose now you could, because comics have such a proven track record. But I'm just saying that comics will legitimize conceits that you wouldn't buy into in most other mediums, except now today CGI has caught up with comics so that they can realistically portray people flying.
But they're still having a hard time, doing it. I mean, because like you said, there is a lot that you can get away with, a comic book that I guess it's this suspended disbelief that you can have with the comic book, that when you actually see it in a physical representation, it becomes different and you judge it differently. But in a comic book, everything's fine. A cartoon as well, the logic is completely different.
Yes.
You can do things and get away with things you just can't in especially a live action type of thing. But I'll tell you right now, like, I was drawing, Mike, while I was listening to that, so I could kind of experience the comic just without reading the book. I could kind of just listen to it, and it was quite entertaining. I remember having a blast, just working and listening to it. So yeah, I just wanted to know how you went about doing that, because I was like, I don't think you guys charged any extra for the book. It was just there in the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I would know. I don't have any left, but a number of people have mint copies, and I say, well, whatever you do, don't take that flexi disc out, because you'll ruin the value of the comic. So the flexi disc must remain unlistened to for the comic to retain its value.
But not its fun.
Yeah, and besides, if you're drawing, you're not looking at Steve Rude's art. And of course, it was just sheer luck that brought us together, because his art speaks for itself.
Yeah. The dude. So you got Florida Man. So what are you working on right this very minute? What's the project?
Well, I'm working on The Saints for Allegiance Arts. It's a new series. It's very exciting. It's about a secret group of scholars and archaeologists who band together to preserve the world's greatest archaeological sites from destruction, like the shrines that were blown up by the Taliban in Afghanistan, They're seeking to prevent that, and their adversaries are a group called the Children of the Forge, which is a shadowy group of billionaires who are trying to create a one world government by planting the seeds for it in ancient archaeological sites. They've got a device that can take people back in time. They can't return. They can't come forward in time. So they send these people, these forged children, back and plant them in mausoleums and cemeteries and pyramids all over the earth, where they just gestate until they're discovered. And then they step forth and blow people's minds, say, yes, I'm the living embodiment of Tutankhamun or whatever. And I'm here to tell you the wisdom of the ages. You got to do this, this, and that. But they're also ruthless. They'll kill anybody who gets in their way.
So they're like, they're immortal protectors of sorts.
They're semi-immortal. What happens to them is they've created a virus, a cybernetic virus that gradually takes over your body. You know, it roots in your body, and the first thing you know is all of a sudden you've got a circuit showing through the skin, and it spreads like a rash until it completely takes over your body and eliminates your humanity and individuality, and then you're an automaton in service to the Forge.
Sounds like an SJW.
We're not saying that, but there are elements of it. Patrick Stiles is the creator of the series. Christian Rosato is the artist. He's doing a brilliant job.
I've seen some of the artwork. It looks fantastic. And, and you have a campaign for it right now, right?
It's on Indiegogo, The Saints on Indiegogo. And I advise people to just go take a look at it. The art is going to blow your mind. And the concept is fresh. You know, it's totally original. There's no superheroes per se, but there are these children of the Forge who pop up occasionally and cause a lot of trouble.
Sounds great. Is it a one and done, or is it going to be a series?
No. First, they're going to launch with a graphic novel. It's going to be 6 issues.
So how many pages is the first?
I think it's 56 pages.
So where are you guys at on it? Are you done? Are you?
No. The campaign is just getting started. It's on Indiegogo. If you like intelligent, gripping comics, I urge people to check it out. It's my whole thing, and
Well, do you have a link? I'm going to go to your site. I'm going to find this, and we're gonna.
Well, here I'll post it for you.
Are you putting it in the private?
I'll put it in the private if you wish.
Yeah, private chat. I'll grab it, and then we'll show it off.
All right.
Yeah, I saw the ad. I know Mitch Bratweiser's been really promoting the hell out of it. Yeah, there it is. All right, let's do this. We are professionals. We are totally prepared. No, we're not. All right, you should be seeing the Saints right now. This is the Indiegogo site. 45 days, so you've been going, how long is it? Is it a 50-day campaign, 60-day?
I'm not sure. You know, I see 45 days left. 45 days left, so it's probably been going for 15 days.
Okay, so it's like a 60-day campaign. You got 168 backers, 9,650. The Saints, a world-renowned archaeologist, falls down the rabbit hole and into the crosshairs of dangerous foes. I like it. I like it. So let's play the video, and then you can we can explore the campaign. So is this going to be in like Walmarts and stuff too? Because I know Allegiance Art
Absolutely.
has
Yep.
a distribution. Yeah.
Yeah. They're probably going to reprint the graphic novel as 2 separate issues and go through the whole thing for Walmart. But right now they're crowdfunding the graphic novel. Uh, and all I can say is this story is going to involve you. People are going to care what happens. It's a very exciting story. I get to delve into all sorts of archaeological mysteries, and it starts with the discussion of ancient Japanese sites, and we have this rogue archaeologist, Jean-Marc Lapointe.
Is that the blonde guy with the bun?
Yeah, he's the blonde guy, and he's a showboater, and everybody thinks this guy is just in it for personal publicity. He's not a serious archaeologist. He is. It's just that he's got a very flamboyant manner, which earns him all sorts of enemies. Uh, and when he breaks into the Japanese tomb, all hell starts to break loose, and he's on the run. He gets blackballed, and the children of the forge are after him, and public opinion just condemns the guy because he seems to be a showboater, and they call him a tomb raider, but he's not a tomb raider. He's very respectful of what he breaks into. He tries not to damage anything. He's just there to catalog it. And at some point, the saints say, "Hey, we need this guy. He can help us." So they bring him into the pack. But
so the Saints is it like a government operation? Is it privately funded?
It's private. It's one of those super secret organizations.
Okay.
Like the Illuminati, only better.
But they're better.
Yeah. But and, I mean, things happen when he breaks into a previously undiscovered tomb in Saudi Arabia. He encounters one of the fully converted children of the forge, and it's a really horrifying confrontation, which he barely survives.
So then you can get into real stuff, like real history, but then you can also make stuff up. Like he can go places, that no one's seen before, and then you can basically just create whatever backstory or whatever you want based on the region that he's in, right? So
yeah, and we're doing a lot of research to make it accurate, the visuals and the history, and eventually it leads to the lost city of Z in the Amazon.
Sweet.
Many people don't know this, but Teddy Roosevelt, after he left the presidency, launched an expedition on the River of Doubt. That's its name. It's in Amazon. He took his son, Kyle, with him to see if they could find the headwaters of the river, and they nearly died. And it was the last time Teddy Roosevelt ever left the country. He barely survived, and they returned. But he was looking for the lost city of Z as well. And there's a book about it, an excellent book. It's called The River of Doubt. It's a factual history of Teddy Roosevelt's expedition up the Amazon.
Well, these pages look fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
So who's the artist? Where'd you get this guy?
Christian Rosado. Allegiance found him, and I think Christian lives in Brazil.
So it's 60 pages the first issue?
56 a story. Is probably going to be a lot of Christian's development work there, and perhaps an essay or two on archaeology.
So I see Patrick Stiles as story. So are you doing the dialogue or what?
Patrick wrote the first 10 pages, and he provided me with an outline of how he saw it developing. And then from that, I wrote a much more detailed outline for the 6th series, and that's what I'm working on now. Everything after the first 10 pages is mine.
Okay.
But
so what's that like, not creating something from scratch? I mean, do you like working on other people's IPs more, or do you like, like Florida Man, where you just created it from scratch?
Well, you always love your own children the best, and I would like to work on my own characters, but I'm always excited to work on somebody else's concept. Whenever I'm presented with a concept of somebody else's imprint, I work up a detailed outline, and the outline itself is entertaining and highly involving. The goal of the outline is to have people read it with excitement, and then when they put it down, say, yeah, where's the book? I need to see the book now. And that's what I do with every project. And there are a lot of characters I didn't create that I would love to write. And I find myself loving to write this because it is so fresh. It's so out of the mainstream, and it is so free of the tropes and cliches that haunt superhero books.
Yeah, well, if we're going to do these independent IPs, you know, we're going to break away from the mainstream. We may as well give the audience something that they haven't seen before, right? I mean, why just rehash the same old, same old? So
That's right.
I feel the same way. It's funny because there was a moment I left comics and I started, you know, developing things and working, you know, in Hollywood, things like that. And what this was frustrating. I know you've seen this and you've heard this, Mike, where everybody's like, we want something fresh, we want something new, we want something original, right? So then you try to craft something like with chronomechanics was the thing. Like, you know, I'm thinking every time something seemed like it was something else, I just nixed it, right? Like if it didn't feel fresh, I nixed it. So I was like completely, you know, I felt like there was no references. When I sold it, I didn't want to make any reference. You know, it's not this meets this or whatever, you know, that kind of shorthand pitch thing. So I wanted to get in, I wanted it fresh. And so then everybody I talked to is like, what is it like? Like the first thing they wanted to do is they wanted to compare it to something. And I was
Absolutely.
like, no, it's not like anything. Ask me questions about it, I'll explain it, but it's not like anything. And so
then once after it becomes a success, they say, I want something like that.
Yeah. So then I realized I don't think that's what people really want. Like, especially people that are producing, projects and stories and stuff like that. I think they want something that will sell, and they understand like if it's like this or like that, but they don't understand if it's completely outside the box. You know, if it's something original. So that's what I found.
You know what they understand? Pretty in Pink meets Die Hard.
Exactly. That's what I was resisting, right? That's the pitch I didn't want to make. And so then after I made a couple of pitches, I talked to my agent and I was like, what's happening here? He's like, they want that. They say they want something original, but what they want is it's like Pretty in Pink meets this. That's what they want. They basically, what did he say? He said, think of it like a trailer. He said, the first 2/3 are like, the first 2/3, is like something you've seen before, but with like a slight twist. And then the third act or the third part of the trailer is where you add something new, right? So it seems fresh. So you suck them in with like, oh my gosh, this seems familiar, right? And then you throw a little twist at the end, and then they're like, oh, it's different.
Well, people know what they like, and that's why we have genres, and that's why horror movies are probably the most successful of all genres, because people are going to flock to see a horror movie no matter how bad it is.
Yeah, you don't need a big star and you don't need a huge budget. Yeah. I think it was Spielberg and some of these other directors were saying like, if you're going to direct a movie, your first movie always should be a horror movie because it will always do well. Yeah. You don't need a big budget, and you don't need name actors. Yeah.
Well, that's true to an extent. But Sturgeon's law applies to horror movies as much as anything else. Sturgeon's law says that 90% of everything is crap, and 10% is good.
Yeah. I can see that. It's the 10% that rises to the top, right?
Right. It's the 10% that enables the 90% to make money.
That's true too. I remember I was talking. I'm not going to name this artist in the industry, but there was a day, Mike, that Hack Check Studios, we were producing 6 books a month for DC and Marvel, right? And so I had a crew of guys, and so one of the books was getting canceled, and so we had books like that range from like low tier, mid tier, and then like top books, right, that we were working on. And so I was talking to this fellow. God, I want to drop his name so bad. And then he said, well, I was talking to him about this book that was canceled, and that one of my guys now doesn't have a book. And so I'm looking at it like, well, he's not going to be able to make his rent. I'm thinking about it in a practical way. And then he said, good riddance. He said, because if those books can't hold their own, they shouldn't exist. And then he goes, the book we're working on allows that book to even exist. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is ruthless. I thought I was a ruthless guy, but man, that was cutting right through the bullshit. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. And
So was this guy a comic executive?
no, he was actually a comic book artist, and he was
Oh.
working on the top book in the industry. So I can throw that out there, and everybody can kind of think what they want. So how did you get involved with the Saints? Did they just call you out of the blue?
Saints? Well, I've been talking to Mitch for over a year. And one day they contacted me and said, we have this title called The Saints we would like you to take a look at. And so we started corresponding, and they sent me their material, and I worked up my outline. It took a week or two for me to work up the outline and for them to all go over it. And they said, all right, yeah, you're the writer.
Awesome. Yeah. So they were well into it. So did they have artwork at that time?
Yes. Christian Rosato had illustrated the first 10 pages.
Oh, okay. So they basically use that 10 pages to pitch everything, to get people involved like yourself, probably colorists, and then to launch the campaign as well. Maybe even to get that. Do you think they showed Walmart? They probably showed Walmart that 10 pages too, right?
Yeah, that's true, because as you know, Allegiance distributes through Walmart. And they've also established a relationship now with a fast drink company. An energy drink company that sells through Walmart. And the benefit of this is they're now going to be able to rack the comics in the drink aisle as well as in the book aisle.
Cool.
Yeah, let me tell
you. Is that the can that's showing up in the Saints art?
That's the can. That's the can.
I was like, what is that? It seems really obvious.
Killcliff, founded and created by a Navy SEAL with the spirit of giving back to the community, Killcliff makes the world's best and first clean energy drink.
Okay, here it is, you guys. This is kind of the let's see if I can find it. Is this it right here? This is kind of an ad for it, right?
That's it.
Killcliff. Ignite. The chicks dig it. The guys, they drink it. They want to go to Egypt and start like exploring, temples and drive.
Gotta have your Killcliff with you.
Yeah, you gotta always have you should have one right now.
I don't have any. I don't even know if they're on sale yet, but I'll probably stop in my local Walmart and check it out, see if I can get some. Then I'll be hosting one every time I go on the air.
Yeah. Are you going to bring it into your Florida Man stories, like those guys drink Killcliff?
In Florida Man, they drink $2 Chuck.
$2 because that's all they can afford, and they hang out with alligators. So this is the Big Ben Henderson, who I know you collaborate with from time to time. Florida Man has nothing on Ben.
Yeah. In fact, this was Ben's idea.
The Offworlder?
Yeah, it was based on an ancestor of his. Oh,
killer.
And this book is going to blow your mind. I don't know if you've seen the art, but I can't. It's not really a good way to show it is on a camera here on a live stream. But Jordi Armengol's art is like nothing you've ever seen before. I've never seen it, and I've been dying to work with him forever. Some of these pages are just so astonishing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. I remember seeing some of this. This book's been around for a while now, right?
Well, yeah, it only just came out about 6 weeks ago when we finally met the crowdfunding goal with just enough money to publish the book. But I think we're going to go on to the second issue now. It's a 5-issue miniseries. It's a mind-blowing story. It's kind of like Highlander meets Silver Surfer, in that you got a fish out of water. It's a 6th century Scottish warlord is chosen by an alien race to be the champion they need to prevent another alien race from destroying all known civilization.
Yeah. Little John Carter thrown in there.
Yeah, a little John Carter. But again, this was working off Ben's outline. It starts in ancient Egypt.
Thanks,
So I
Ben.
did
Let me read this real quick. Love the Florida Man books. Keep them coming. Thanks so much, Ben, for the super chats. I appreciate it. You didn't have to, but I appreciate it. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Where was I? Oh, yeah, it was Ben's idea to start in ancient Egypt. So I did a lot of research on that. I read a book on Cleopatra, and I found out a whole bunch of fascinating things, which I incorporated into the story, including a little humor, which is that the Egyptian royalty were meticulously clean. They couldn't abide filth. And when Sarah, the Egyptian princess, arrives in Scotland to to plead for James Gunn's help, she finds herself in the most appallingly filthy conditions, and she has to take measures to make her environment habitable, minimally habitable. I see Roland wants to talk about the Black Punisher. Roland, that was not my idea. That was the editor's idea at the time. Geez, I can't think of his name. His name was Don something, but I did it. And,
Don Daly. It was Don Daly.
Yeah, it was Don Daly. I did it, and I'm proud of it. Would I do it again today? I don't know. I'm not writing Punisher, but it certainly forced me to think outside the box.
Yeah. So was he tortured as a super soldier like they did with Captain America?
You mean the Punisher?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know the Punisher's backstory.
Well, I mean, this isn't the same Punisher, right? This is a different guy.
No, it was Frank Castle who for some reason, and I'd have to go back and reread those issues to discover why. He turned himself black and changed his appearance completely, I think, to escape the people who were after him. But it was such a long time ago, and I've written so many stories since then that I would have to go back and reread those issues. However, prior to that, for the first 3 years of Punisher, I approached it as a straight crime story. There were no superheroics, there were no space invaders or superpowers. It was just Frank against the mob and whatever criminals crossed his path. Carl Potts asked me to write this story, and Carl was editor during those first 3 years. And then Carl got kicked upstairs, and Don came in. And Don was more of a gimmick guy. Some of his gimmicks were cool, like the plain brown wrapper Punisher. One comic came in a plain brown wrapper.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
He had a bunch of photographic covers that were really good. And he commissioned a bunch of covers by Mike Golden and said, write stories around these, which I was delighted to do because I'm a huge Mike Golden fan.
Right. Yeah. I think anytime you turn like a white character blackface, I think it's problematic, but it would probably be crucified today. Like, I think it was more acceptable then, but nowadays I think people would really have a hard time with it. So let's get into this Emilia Clarke, if you don't mind. We can kind of run through that real quick, since I kind of led with that as well.
All I know is what I read in Bounding into Comics.
Okay, let me get this, and then we can get it to. God, Ben, thank you so much. You didn't have to. What were each of your favorite comic books ever, and how did Mike come up with the idea of the High Evolutionary War? All right, so I'm going to throw this at you, Mike.
What are my favorite comics?
Yeah. And how did you come up with the High Evolutionary? I imagine that's to you, right? Because I don't know what that is.
That was probably an aspect of the Punisher. Ben, correct me if I'm wrong. And again, I don't remember. It's like I got to keep clearing out my mail system to make room for the new stuff, or it'll shut down. So I have to delete all my memory. The back stuff, it just goes into a memory hole, and I can't remember. My favorite comics, I have so many. I love Jim Starlin's run on Captain Marvel and some of his other titles. I loved his art. because it was a unique style. I mean, you can look at a Jim Starlin page and identify it immediately. The Death of Captain Marvel, one of the best graphic novels of all time. I was a huge Steranko fan. The Steranko Nick Furies blew my mind.
Yeah.
And they had a profound effect on me, even though I'm not an artist. I've been uh, lucky enough to work with some artists who can apply that type of highly stylized graphics to a comic book story, which I just love. And that's another thing when I mean comics are the most forgiving medium. If you look at the range of artistic styles that are available, they just run the gamut. I grew up on Uncle Scrooge. I consider some of those the greatest comics ever written. I don't read many comics these days. I read what my friends send me. And every now and then I'll buy a Marvel comic to confirm my suspicions. And my suspicions are always confirmed, and that means that there is no entertainment value there.
Right, right. There's propaganda, but not a lot of entertainment. Yeah. Well, speaking of propaganda, we got this Emilia Clarke, and I just wanted to get your take on this. This is so ridiculous. Like Hollywood doesn't understand anything, and I think this shows you how little respect they do have for comic books. So this is a Variety. This is Emilia Clarke's debut comic book. Follows a single mom whose secret weapon is her period. Okay, so her secret weapon is her monthly cycle. So this is interesting. And then this is the virtue signaling right here, right off the bat. This is how they sell stuff, right? Mike, this is where they go now. They don't go with like the pitch of the comic or the integrity of the idea. They go with, as a kid in London, Emilia Clarke got a distinct vibe from her local comic book shop. No girls allowed.
I read that. I read the Voice article. Uh, and I can't fault Image because she's a big star with a built-in audience, and so it's likely the book will do well. Uh, but as far as my taste in comics, uh, the first rule of any comic is its job to entertain, to involve the reader to such an extent that he ignores all other stimuli. And if you interrupt him while he's reading the comic, he snaps at you and goes back to the comic. And that's what I mean by a gripping story. The most
Yeah.
important question in all fiction is what happens next. And the reader has to care before he'll turn the page. Well, how do you make the reader care? Well, you tell a story that's just irresistible. Well, what is that? Well, it's a story that uses every tool at your disposal. You create a fascinating character, like Sherlock Holmes. You create a fascinating situation, like Jurassic Park. Or you have a seductive narrative voice, like James Ellroy or Raymond Chandler. Those guys are just fun to read. You read Raymond Chandler because you laugh out loud. You don't expect to. He's a master of irony and humor, and yet it fits in seamlessly with the tension and the terror of being a private detective in some situations.
Right. But I mean, this reads as this is a gimmick, right? I mean, she says this is a passion project, but she's pretty much not even going to be working on it. I think it's this what is her name? Bennett. Yeah, Bennett's going to be writing it. So it's probably just an idea that she pitched to this writer.
Who's
And
Bennett?
it's this Margaret. I can't say her first name. Bennett. She worked on Bombshells, Josie and the Pussycats. I've seen her name around, but I have a strong feeling that Clarke isn't even really going to be involved, other than she has this idea, Mothers of Madness or whatever, and that I don't know how her monthly cycle enters into the storyline.
Well, she has the powers when she has her cycle.
Oh, okay. Is that what happens?
That's my guess. It's the only thing that makes sense. But like I said, comics are the most forgiving medium in the world, and you can get away with concepts in comics that you couldn't in any other medium. So let's take a wait and see attitude. You never know. It could be an entertaining comic.
Okay, another key identifier for the character is that all of her powers manifest from her menstruation cycle. Yes, you're right. The bloating, the hair growth, the mood swings, the acne, all of it. We hate it when it happens. Speaking for myself and everyone I've ever met who has had a period. How do you feel when you have your period, Mike?
Grumpy.
I'm pissy. I don't want a man even looking at me when I'm on my period. So okay, so yeah, so what is this armpit hair? When Maya is scared, she grows invisible, or she goes invisible. When she's angry, she has superhuman strength. She can swing like Spider-Man from her armpit hair.
Come
Clark
on.
says. Oh my gosh! Through both lenses, Clarke and her creative team, who's going to do all of it, sought to lionize. Was that lionize the single mom? Of course, the single mom, because they're heroes. Single fathers are not. Whose media depiction is usually one of struggle, sadness, and efforts of whatever. This is all life with her male partner. This is nutty. I don't know. This sounds like if this was like a comedy, like a parody or something like that. But I think they're going to play it straight. I think it's going to be played completely dramatically. So I think if it was for shits and giggles, I think it could be fun. But I don't think it is.
Well, it may be fun anyway, inadvertently, but we won't know until it comes out.
In July, you guys. So pick up your copy of Mom or whatever the hell the book's called. Uh, I think it's just gonna be a car wreck. And like you said, I mean, I don't blame a publisher for picking it up. It's gonna get the headlines. I mean, Variety did an article on it. It's hard to get eyes on your book, things like that. But like Ethan says, and a lot of other comic skaters, it's like this type of attention doesn't generate comic book sales.
That's true.
This stuff doesn't really work. I mean, if it did, then with Marvel's cinematic success, comic books would be million sellers right now.
We've been saying they should sell comics in theater lobbies for over 30 years, but It doesn't happen. But I want to mention a couple other projects that I have coming out.
Okay, let me speak to your like case in point. Do you remember Jerry Ordway's Batman adaptation for the first movie, the Burton film? That
Yes.
sold over 1 million copies. It was a graphic novel. It was expensive, and they sold it in the lobbies of movie theaters. It's been proven to work, and they still don't do it. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Nexus Lone Star Bigfoot Bill crossover is at the Colors right now. Mike Miller and Doug Tenopple were kind enough to let me play in their playground. And it's about how Nexus travels back to contemporary Earth to save the Earth from Gormondo. Well, who's Gormondo? Gormondo is our version of Galactus. And it's featured of course, in this book here. And there's kind of
hold on. Let me see. Oh, okay. It says it right there on the cover, Gormondo.
Yeah, and we treat Gormondo pretty seriously because we don't want to be eaten. And the book has flashes of humor, but it's a really good adventure. And both Lone Star and Bigfoot Bill are essential to Nexus being able to overcome Gormondo. And one of the reasons is that Lone Star, a member of his unknown soldiers, is called Scout, who has an ability to open up a portal between dimensions. And likewise, Bigfoot Bill wears the Kraken as a shirt. And the Kraken is able to open up a portal between dimensions. And that's the key to getting rid of Gormondo. And at the same time, Richard Meyer solicited a 3-issue Nexus series from me that Kelsey Shannon is illustrating. He's finished the first book. It's at the printer now. It's absolutely stunning. It's one of the best Nexus stories I've ever done. Richard said he wanted something like The Mandalorian. I have never seen The Mandalorian, but I understood that it had the flavor of a spaghetti Western. And so that flavor permeates this 3-issue series. I'm also working on a new Nexus graphic novel with Richard Bonk that's absolutely stunning. That Dark Horse will publish next year.
I like Richard's work. He's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think this is the best work of his career. And of course, we're going to do the second Florida Man graphic novel is also already written, and we're going to launch that soon, but not before we launch another project called Thin Blue Line, which is about two police officers trying to survive a night of rioting in a Midwestern city. My penciler, Joe Arnold, is a full-time police officer, and he still finished the book faster than a lot of artists I know.
Well, he knows, and this is very topical stuff, man.
Yeah, and as always, my goal is to entertain. It's not didactic in any way. I don't take sides, but people will recognize the situations and they will root for the heroes.
Yeah, well, that's what it's about. It's just, good, clean fun. That's what I say. Comic books were always that for me. They were a great source of escapism, and I miss it. I mean, sometimes comic books could hit home. They could make you think, but in the meantime, just some good action adventure, G versus E, stories. That's all you need. Oh wait, I got to read this. This is Cedric. So she only has superpowers 3 weeks of the month.
She has superpowers 1 week of the
One
month.
week of the month. Yes. So 3 weeks she's down. Yeah. So if she doesn't complete her mission in that first week, the villain's seeking her out. So she's got to be on the run for the next 3 weeks.
There's some good story elements there.
Yeah,
I should also mention Buddy McGill.
What?
The James Bond of dogs. It's illustrated by Fur Kelvey. And
wait, is this another project you're working on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be published by Advent. Let me show you. I'll show you a Buddy McGill cover. And Fur Kelvey is just an unbelievable artist. Get out of here. These messages. Leave me alone.
That's funny. I thought you were talking about that dog was in that Emilia Clarke's book.
No, Buddy is moving solo. He's a super party animal, and his name is Buddy McGill. With a case of there it is. With a case of suds and some brand new duds, he'll give you something you can feel.
So this character is going to be in Emilia Clarke's book, and Mike Barron is slated to write the next installment. So have you ever talked to Emilia Clarke?
Oh, who, me? I didn't know who she was till these stories started coming out. Although I'm sure I saw her on Game of Thrones, and I'm sure she's a fine actress because every actor in that show was a good actor, and I had no problem believing any of them.
I think she was Sarah Connor in the last Terminator movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was a really weird movie that just pretty much shit on the entire franchise.
I see Chris Neville mentions that werewolves have that full moon thing once a month as well. Well, in fact, the idea isn't new. There's a movie called Ginger Snaps about a female werewolf who turns into a werewolf when she has her period.
Yeah, it happens, you guys.
It happens. It's in Canada, so stay out of Canada.
Yeah, because you don't want to be turned into a werewolf. This is crazy. This is nutty stuff, man. Comics is cool. Wait. So, what does Art say? It's Emilia. Am I saying Amelia? No, it's Emilia. Got the E in there.
I think that's close enough.
Yeah. What the heck? What do they want from me, Mike? Jeez. This is free. This is free entertainment. This is as good as it gets. Two old guys in their rooms, their studios working. Speaking
of werewolves, I'm doing a Western with Pat Broderick.
No, you are not. Pat Broderick? Yes. What the hell's Pat Broderick been up to, man?
Well, you should see the art. It's the best art of his career. Everybody who's seen it agrees, and so does Pat. I can show you a couple of pages he's done, but he's got this problem with his camera. He photographed them on his camera and has this peculiar sepia tint. I've seen the original art, and it's very crisp black and white. It's not like that at all. Let me see if I can find him.
Yeah, he worked for DC years ago, and then he just kind of disappeared. And then I was like, well, what happened to that guy? Because he was really stylized. I liked his line work.
Oh, Pat's a brilliant artist. Where is he? Hell, I'll just look him up. I'll bite the bullet and look him up.
Yeah, that's how I'm saying it. Emilia. Yeah, that's how I said it. It's like Emily with Ia at the end. Let's see what while you're looking. How do you swing from the armpit hair? I don't know. I mean, it's just maybe an extension of the arm just comes out and just kind of, works as an arm would. She must need serious deodorant. Oh my gosh. You know what? That could be like a superpower too. Just like lift your armpit and just that stench that comes out.
Sure. And then you got that media tie-in or the product tie-in.
Yeah, definitely. It's not as cool as an energy drink, but it'll do in a pinch.
Well, if you are a woman and you drink the energy drink while you're having the period, you'll be able to fly.
Oh, there you go. It's a period piece. Get it?
All right. I just posted 2 of Pat's pages to your Facebook thing. If somebody did it to me, I would not be able to reproduce them. But again, the sepia tone is due to his camera. It's not what the original art looks like, but it gives you an idea of what the art's going to look like.
So he's doing, is he doing the sepias with, is it digitally or is he doing it?
It's all done by hand. It's ink on white paper, and the originals are stunning.
Oh, it's like a gray tone. Okay.
It's an accident. They're not meant to look like that. It's just that's the way his phone takes these pictures.
And you're going to print off of this?
No, hell no. We're going to print from the original art. Let me see if I can find something.
And then you're going to replicate the look?
No. It's going to be colored.
Well, you're making it sound like that's the selling point is the sepia tone.
No, that's just the way it comes across.
Okay. This is really blurry, you guys. So this is taken from Pat's phone, but there's a lot of detail here, man. This looks pretty cool. Guy gets kicked right in the nards and then gets shot. That's cold-blooded, man.
Yeah, I'm holding the pages up here. This is what the originals look like.
Okay, let me go back. You're busting my hump here.
I know.
Let me see. Give me a workout, Mike. Okay.
That's what the original pages look like.
Okay, let's see the bottom. There you go. Oh, very cool, man. Yeah, I miss Matt. I mean, Pat.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. Got a couple of people looking.
So you're looking for a publisher right now, or?
Yes, we are, and we have 2 publishers who are interested. They're sniffing it out,
Sniffing it out, put the nose up someone's butt, just like a dog. Yeah, Pat, I liked his Captain Atom. I remember his Captain Atom. His Firestorm was before, because the last thing I think I remember was his Captain Atom. Really good stuff, man.
Well, he has a book coming out on First. It's a science fiction thriller. I can't think of the name, but it's one of the original First titles from 40 years ago.
Oh, is it? Wait, everybody's schooling me. Emilia? Is that it? Emilia Clarke? Whatever, man. All right.
Emilia.
That's what I've been saying, but they're like saying it's not that. I'm waiting for Art to start having a Texas accent. All right, y'all, that's as good as it's going to get.
Welcome back. Here.
Oh, man, I'm getting my hump busted here. Got to have Art wear a cowboy hat in an upcoming live stream. What do you think?
That.
Are you taking on? My wife's going to go have lunch with some friends. Say hi to Mike Barron.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hi. Good, thanks.
Good.
Yeah. Well, go have fun.
Okay. Listen for that.
Well, I'm gonna
Cool guy. And
shut down soon.
Don't let him be too loud with our bird.
We got a blue jay that fell out of his nest or her nest. I can't judge. and it's been back there for the last 3 days. It's mature enough, and the mom or whatever comes flying in and drops him like a worm every once in a while. And we looked on the internet. It's not uncommon, and that they can actually, within a week they can get strong enough and fly away. So we got a little section in the backyard that he's that's his compound, and we're keeping him safe. He wants to jump the fence so bad, but I'm like, the other side of the fence, we can't guarantee your safety. Back here we can guarantee your safety. So yeah, we got a blue jay, a little baby blue jay that's been out there for 3 days now, fighting for its life, Mike. That's my next story, Blue Jay. And
good title.
Yeah, Blue Jay. There you go.
Nobody's done the Blue Jay yet.
Yeah. Okay, let's see this. Stay fixin' art. Fixin'. Yeah, get the fixins. That's a Texas thing. My mom had like some kind of Texas wang, and she was born and raised Southern California. She would say wash. She would say wash. She like get the washing done. And I was like, where'd that come from, Mom? Like, you're Southern California. So she had her isms. All right, brother. Well, hey, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the super chats, Ben. I do appreciate that. It was a blast reading Florida Man. Great book. A lot of fun. Todd Melroon did a wonderful job, and the artwork was pretty fantastic. And yeah, go check out The Saints. That's Mike's new book. It's in Indiegogo right now. So I think you guys are 15 days into it. You have 45 more days, I believe. And so when are you looking at finishing and shipping The Saints?
Oh, geez, I just finished the 4th script. I don't know. I'll have to ask Mitch, but I'm sure it won't be before the fall. Okay.
All right. So yeah, go back the book, you guys. It looks fantastic. When you talk to Mitch, tell him I said hi, Mike.
I will.
He's a great guy. He's a good guy. Loves comic books. All right, everybody, take care. Have a wonderful day. And tonight we have a professional spill in the ink. I believe it's going to be hosted by Billy Tucci tonight. And if you guys haven't heard, it's Graham Nolan, it's Aaron Lopresti, it's Andy Smith, it's Dan Frega, and Billy Tucci and myself. And we go and we just talk about comics and anything else that comes to mind. And we usually hang out for an hour or two. We usually we have guests that pop in. I think we had who do we have? We had a couple different people, but we had Ethan Van Sciver, I think last week or the week before. So it's a lot of fun, you guys. Like I said, it's going to be on Billy Tucci's channel tonight, and it's 8 Eastern Standard Time. So hope to see you guys tonight. So take care, and thanks again, Mike, for coming on.